Rule sets can be a useful tool when it comes to automating your pay conditions. The Rule Sets page can be found via the Payroll Settings tab, which is located here, and also here. You can find the Rule Sets page under the Pay Conditions setting here. There are a few settings to be aware of within Rule Sets that have the potential to change the results of how timesheets are interpreted. To clarify, a rule set is a group of rules that combine to form a rule set. Each rule set can then be linked to an employee via their employee file, Pay Run Defaults page. Employees can only be linked to one rule set, the point of this being that each rule set will cater to a different group of employees. Within each rule set there are a set of rules. These are individual instructions. Each rule will then have a set of conditions and criteria that will be triggered if and when timesheet data matches. If we click into a rule set, you will notice a few things. We have the name of the rule set at the top here, the description underneath to explain what the rule set is for, and then the rule set period. The rule set period defines how the system will group the timesheets when deciding what rules to trigger. Shift consolidation. This tells the system whether or not, and in what circumstances, you want to consolidate multiple shifts that are worked within a certain time of each other. There's 3 options to choose from. Don't consolidate shifts, meaning the system will treat each shift as separate. Consolidate shifts starting on the same day. And lastly, consolidating shifts within X number of minutes of each other. In this example, I've chosen 30 minutes of each other. Once you've configured your new rule sets, just press Save at the bottom. If we now go back to look at the existing rule sets already in place, you have a couple of options when you hover over a specific rule set. You have the option to edit the rules. This will take you into the list of rules currently set up within that rule set. You can also test the rules. This allows you to enter timesheet data in order to test how the rules apply according to different timesheet information. If there are draft rules within a rule set, there will also be an option to activate the draft rules. And if you've created a rule set but not yet added any rules, you will also be able to select the Create Rules option here. We'll take a look at the Edit Rules page first. To the right of the page you have the Rules Set button. This will take you back to the previous page. You also have the Test Rules button. This will take you to the Rules Tester. We'll be looking at that shortly. Next you have the Activate Draft Rules button. This will be greyed out if there are no draft rules. These are rules that have been added or edited but are not yet activated. You can use the Rules Tester to test them. However, until they are activated, these rules will not be triggered in pay runs when timesheets are imported. In this example, it is currently greyed out as there are no draft rules. The Reorder button here allows you to change the order of the rules. This is important because you need to check the placement of the rules. This is because rules are applied in order from top to bottom, so a rule that's triggered may be overridden by another rule further down the list. Simply drag the rules in the correct order, and when you're finished, press Done. The Expand All button opens all the rules at once. You can also add another rule from here. If you click on an individual rule, it will expand to show you the conditions and criteria that are in place. For example, here you can see the rule is 8-hour overtime. What this rule states is that any shift an employee submits that is greater than 8 hours, then apply the pay category overtime times 1.5. We do recommend that you spend time looking at this page and each rule that can be triggered. It will help you to gain insight into how and why it is being applied to a shift. Remember, the rules are applied in order from top to bottom, so a rule that is triggered may be overridden by another rule further down the list. You can disable a rule by selecting the Disable option here. If disabled, it will not trigger in the Rules Tester or the pay run. To enable it again, just click the same button. To add a new rule to your rule set, click on the Add button. You'll then need to go through a variety of conditions in order to achieve what you need. In this case, we're going to add a new rule, and we're going to call it breaks. And what we're going to say is when time worked in a shift is greater than 4 hours, then apply shift breaks. And here you can choose the settings to say that apply 15 minutes break for every 4 hours an employee works, and this could be limited to a number of breaks per shift. You can also use this settings toggle on the right hand side here to add more conditions to this rule. Once you're happy with your new rule, press Save. Now you've created your rule, the next thing you need to do is check the placement of it in relation to the other rules in your rule set. Remembering that rules are applied in order from top to bottom, so a rule that's triggered will be overridden by another rule further down the list. To rearrange the order of your rules, click on the reorder icon. Then when you click on a rule, you'll be able to drag it to the correct place. Once you're happy with the order of the rules, click Done. You can also check you're happy with your rules by using the rules tester here. Once you've selected the timesheet period here, you can choose to manually enter the shifts or import a specific employee timesheet. If you would like to import a specific employee's timesheet, click on the Import button here, then select the week ending and the employee. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to manually enter the details of a timesheet. I'm going to make the shift longer than 10 hours to see if my overtime rules work, and also see if the breaks rule we've just created works. Once you've set up your timesheet to test, you can scroll to the bottom of the page. Here you have the option to use draft rules or active rules. You can then choose the costing. This can either be set up as a pay rate template, or you're able to test a specific employee. And finally, you can confirm their employment type here. Once you're happy with the settings, you can run the test. I've only entered one timesheet, therefore there's just one day showing here. If I click on the shift, it will open up to give me some more detail, including the name of the rule set. If you click on the question mark icon, you can see which rules have been applied and which haven't. If you click on the Rules tab, it will show you each rule. There will be a tick for the ones that have been applied and a cross for those that haven't. Once you've tested your rules and are happy with how they are applied, you can scroll to the top of the page. If you then click on Edit Rules and select here Activate Draft Rules. This will activate any rules that you would like to apply to a pay run. Remember, these rules will only apply to employees who are attached to the rule set. You can do this on their employee file, Pay Run Defaults page. This video has given you a very basic overview of the rules page. You can see our support guidance for more detailed information. We hope you found this useful.